And welcome to my session on PowerScale SmartConnect. Every node in a PowerScale or Isilon cluster has two Ethernet ports for client connections, and we would like to have these ports balanced as far as, a same amount of traffic going through each path so that we don't have congestion. The, the purpose of the Smart Connect is to balance them across there, and it does it by giving out a different address every time the next client wants to connect. It acts as a secondary name server so that when someone tries to connect to a PowerScale share or NFS export, the next client will get a different IP address and so forth. 1FS, we do not assign IP addresses to a FQDN. Instead, we create what is called an address pool, and in that address pool, we will list the FQDN and a list of IP addresses that can be used to access that FQDN. That FQDN is then entered to the primary DNS as a delegation or NS record. To a DNS, an NS record means that it must forward that lookup request to a secondary DNS. The SmartConnect service has a unique IP address. That address is entered into the primary DNS as a host or a record. That will be the address of where to forward the request. A secondary name server, the SmartConnect service will use one of these four rules to decide which physical port to send each client to, and those are the least current connections, the lowest CPU utilization, the lowest network throughput, or a simple round robin. Through the SmartConnect process to show exactly what happens when a client is going to connect. So the client will send the FQDN as a lookup request to the DNS. At this point, in a normal situation, the DNS would then return a pre-assigned IP address for that FQDN, and the client would connect to the FQDN. Step in the process is that the DNS sees that FQDN is a delegation, and it forwards that request to the SmartConnect. In the process, the SmartConnect sees that request, and it does its choice of which is the best port he wants to send him to, and sends the appropriate IP address for that port back to the DNS. Fourth step in the process is that the DNS, having received the IP address from the PowerScale's SmartConnect service, will forward the selected IP address to the client. And when the client receives that IP address, it will then use that to connect to the appropriate interface on the PowerScale to get the best performance. Concludes the presentation of the PowerScale SmartConnect. I hope you find it useful. I hope you come back and look again. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and thank you for watching.